let's dig deep into Halloween Horror Nights houses right now. For the first night of reviews, we did the Weeknd house and Dead Man's Pier. So let's take a look, and we did actually have some fun food that night, probably the best food that we've had so far. Let's jump into it.
All right, we just made it to Halloween Horror Nights Day 2. We had to pick up our Rush of Fear passes from the kiosk. Everything went pretty smooth. We just got in. It's a little late. I'm hoping that the lens holds up well, but let's go check it out. We're doing a lot of houses tonight, giving some reviews, giving some updates on timing. We will see how the night unfolds. Okay, first up, Dead Man's Pier. Posted 60. We will let you know. Dead Man's Pier review. I would say that was a great house. I thought the kind of design work and the set work were phenomenal. The people that have been ranting and raving about it, they've done it rightfully so. The scares were okay. We got behind a group of girls that were just screaming at everything, and obviously the scare actors kind of prey on that, so there wasn't a lot that was kind of jumping out at us. Still a great house nonetheless. We're gonna have to go back through, and maybe we don't have that kind of group in front of us, but now we're gonna head over to the Weeknd. We've been hearing kind of mixed reviews. Some people absolutely love it, some people absolutely hate it. We're gonna go check it out. I heard it's a little trippy and the lights could be kind of crazy, but I do want to see what's going on and what all the hype is about, considering it's been kind of the poster child for HHN 30. All right, it looks like the Weeknd is a posted 60-minute wait. We will let you know what the time looks like, both for the queue and then also the duration of the house itself. All right, so we finished up at the Weeknd. We've done 2 houses here. So we did Dead Man's Pier and the Weeknd. Dead Man's Pier is still more of my favorite between the two. The Weeknd is definitely stroby. People have talked about the strobes. It's gonna get you a little bit in there. The scares for Dead Man's are kind of a little tamer. The Weeknd's got a few really good jump scares. I think we were in a cast change because I know where some of the scares were and there was nobody there, so we might have been in a cast change. Weeknd, a little bit of a longer house, almost a little bit longer than it really needed to be completely honest. I think Nicole and I, by like the last 5/6 of it, were kind of like we could be done. But both good houses. Dead Man's, in my opinion, much better than the Weeknd though, if I'm being honest, pretty much just on the set alone. Okay, we just got the pizza skull. Looks actually really good. The sauce looks sweet. Sometimes you can just tell. I decided to get a lacto cooler today. We got Nicole with the Bud Light, and then we also got the cake pop, the RIP cake pop over here. We'll let you know how they go. As of right now, very excited for this. So far, this has been delicious. So something to keep in mind as well is when you are here, the food booths I've heard have been running out of food or some food at least, by midnight. So because the park is open till 2 a.m., it would be advisable for you, if you're looking to pick up some of the unique food, to go ahead and get food before midnight, just to make sure that you can get it. Okay, so we just finished day 1 houses here. It is 1 a.m. Really long lines again. Opening weekend I think is just insane. So we went ahead and did Dead Man's Pier and we did the Weeknd house. So the next time we come, we're probably gonna try and knock out maybe 3 houses, maybe 4. It's just gonna depend on what we can get knocked out for the day.
And we're back. Well, night 2 is a little bit different of reviews, and that's because I forgot my SD card for the camera. So I wasn't able to record on my camera. I used my phone instead, and I wasn't really able to get much. Obviously, low light and phone cameras, they don't go super well together. So I just showed you kind of just a quick bit of the houses that we did. For night 2, we did Universal Monsters, Legends Collide, and then the Bug House. And I will just let you know right now, the tent houses are very loud. I'll touch more on that in a minute, but let's get into the very short bit for night 2. And we're back real quick. That was a short duration, and again, I'm sorry that we didn't get much footage there, but I will give you my review of those houses right here, kind of as quick as I can. Legends Collide, very good house, lots of good jump scares. We kind of went at a prime time, I feel like. That house was very unique for me because I've never done any of the HHN houses, and I know that the Universal Monsters is something that I guess they've done for a few years or something. Some people like it, some people don't, from the general consensus that I've been able to find online. However, I thought it was really cool. I do understand where people are getting a little upset about how much mummy action there is versus like the Dracula and Wolfman. And that's okay. I think the set work is really nice in there. Some of the jump scares are really nice. And it really feels like you're kind of just like crawling through like this deserty area. Very cool house. Like that one a lot. And then there was the Bugs house. The Bugs house was not my favorite. And boy, did I just maybe have a bad time. Number one, that house is insanely loud. I feel like the tent houses in general, very, very loud. I mean, it's hard to hear, almost to the point of being like disturbingly loud. The other thing too is like they have the stuff that's hanging from like the ceilings. I know they call it like the stuff in face or whatever. And that felt like it was just obnoxious for me. It wasn't even like fun. I just felt like I was going through every hallway after like the second or third hallway, because like they tried to do like the spider webs, and I just felt like I was like swiping stuff out of my face the whole time, that I wasn't paying attention to the scares, number one, and number two, like I wasn't even like just looking around me at the scenery. So I missed the scares, I missed the scenery for the most part, because I'm just like trying to pull the stuff off of me, and I was like, that's not really like that fun. And I get they were trying to get this weird buggy vibe in there. It just didn't hit for me. But again, really loud house. Didn't love it. Not great jump scares either. But I would say like for a house that, you know, was meant to really like trigger people with the bugs, maybe it does that. Now, with that said, let's hop over to night 3, which was Spirits of the Coven and Fiesta de Chupacabra.
It is Friday night. Where else would we be other than back at Halloween Horror Nights? And of course, why wouldn't we have rain on a Friday here in Orlando? Because every single time we come to Halloween Horror Nights, it loves to rain. First house tonight, Fiesta de Chupacabra. 40-minute wait on this rainy Friday night. All right, time to wait for Fiesta de Chupacabra here. We are walking through the line. Looks pretty short, actually. We'll give you an updated time on, again, wait time, how accurate that is, and then also the house time. All right, I gotta pack the camera up, and then we're gonna get ready to kind of wait out this line, and then we will let you know, and we will see you on the other side. All right, well, there's a lot of rain, so we are taking a quick break over here. I'll do a quick review of the Chupacabra house, and I would say that the Fiesta de Chupacabra house was definitely a fun house, something I would say better than something like Bugs. Not quite top of the list. Right now I would put it at maybe like a 3 or 4, and that's just because I think we were in a shift change, and there was definitely a lot of boo holes that weren't being taken advantage of. I think there was maybe only 10 scare actors in that entire house, and I'm not sure if that's because of a shift change or if that's just how it is. I like the puppets. I literally was staring at one of them to my left, and it jumped out, got me, and I was like, how did I just get, scared from that after I literally looked at it? So that was kind of funny. But I do think that's a good house. I like kind of the vibe in there. It's a little confusing on the story. I heard it's kind of, you're going in and being invited to like a party in this village, and then ultimately you're getting sacrificed or something. It just felt like it was a little all over the place. So I would say good house, but we got to go back through it just because it was definitely one that I think was in the middle of a shift change. So we'll try it again, but as of right now, I'd say maybe 3 or 4. All right, we need to pick up our weekly magnet because it comes out every Wednesday, and it's Friday, so we're going to pick them up here. But they actually have a few new pieces here in the tribute store. We'll show you some of them. Here we go. So we already have the first 2 here, which is just kind of the Halloween 31, the Chucky, and now we're going to pick up our Halloween Nightmare Fuel Wildfire magnet. And again, we do have a few more to go. We will make sure to pick up all of those. First and foremost, we have the Lil Boo purse here. That's running $60 for that. It's the first item we've seen that's new. I feel like they're coming out with new hats every week here, and this one is like a bloody, I guess veil, kind of, with the top hat look. So that is new from the last time we were in here. I did see this kind of like skull, almost Dr. Cillier look, but I would say this is definitely new here. These are also new. They are purses, but they're meant to almost look like VHS tapes. So you have Frankenstein here, and down here you have Dracula. Let me see if I can get a better shot of it. Thanks to Nicole, we do have some lighting here. This is the Dracula one. Again, I think it's meant to be like a VHS or a book. Probably actually a book now that I'm looking at it here. But this is new. These are pretty sweet. And then again, you've got the Frankenstein one, and then you've got the Dracula. These are the two that I'm seeing so far. We also have some new masks. Specifically, it looks like we have a little Chucky mask. And these are all pretty cool. We saw these last time. They're just kind of over the eyes. Some of them are actually really nice. Ooh, I haven't seen this one before. Kind of like a bear or wolf look. And they actually fit pretty well. So nice quality, and they do look good. I will say that. But as far as this goes, the only new mask would be the Michael Myers, the Chucky one up top. Also, it seems that the Weeknd shirt is still the only thing that is pertaining to the Weeknd right now. They still have nothing else released. I don't know if they're going to. I heard there's something about royalties or something. I don't know if it's just, rumors or whatever, but this is the only thing you can still get for the Weeknd. Not new, but only thing. I don't know if this is a new shirt. I don't recall seeing it. You have this Never Go Alone. I have seen that shirt, but I actually don't know if I've seen these yet. These like Michael Myers collectible ornaments. So that might be new. And everything else looks to be pretty much the same here. I have seen these launch flies already, or I guess just the bags, I should call them. And I think this is like a wallet maybe. So, no, it's also a tombstone ornament. So everything else looks pretty much the same, but the shirt does look new, and possibly these ornaments. So I've noticed that sometimes the pieces that are on display for like the monsters, I've noticed that like one of them will be very prominent, and I don't know if that's like anticipating the winner. So if anybody knows, please let me know on how that works. Is it still just random, or now that like there's Dracula merch all over, does that mean for tonight he's the winner and they swap it out? This has definitely filled up in here compared to what it was like at the start of Halloween Horror Nights. People have definitely started to get their faces here. There's still a number of spots left, but it's starting to fill up. Right when you come into the third room here, it looks like we have two new shirts. You've got two kind of cat shirts, one coming out of a pumpkin. Definitely looking new. You have Dracula's Spook House down here. Stoker's Pour. I do believe this is a new shirt here too. It says Trick with like a succubus or something on it. And on the back, it's like a bigger version of her like licking lollipops, I guess. So Trick on the front, Treat on the back. So Trick and Treat. That would be new. I believe this is pretty new as well. I love this kind of design. This is the popcorn bucket kind of design that we have there too. I love this Dia de los Muertos kind of just all of their merchandise and the just the aesthetics of it, I think, are awesome. So there's kind of maybe a few new things here. I'm not totally positive what has and hasn't been here, but this definitely looks new, this shirt. And they also have cups with them. That looks new. And then also candles. So I think those three are for sure new here. These look to be new, or I just didn't look over this way. So you have kind of some vinyl sticker sheets here for decals. And then you have this vinyl album here, the Halloween Horror Nights vinyl. Yeah, right here, Midnight Syndicate. That's $60. And there's also an album signing October 5th at the 5 and Dime if you're interested, from 6 to 9 p.m. But I do think this is new. And you also have some ornaments here. Actually, some kind of fun ones, I'm not going to lie. Some of those are actually pretty fun. These are new or not. I don't remember. I wonder if they switched these shirts up, because that looked different. These look kind of the same. But some of the artwork, like that tribute facade black cat, looks new. I don't know if they're kind of adding little bits to this, but a lot of it does look the same for the most part. Actually, that hand right there looks That looks new as well. So maybe just a few kind of minor bits that are new. So there is enough rain going on right now that the Sweet Revenge section doesn't even have any of their scare actors out. And this is the zone, in my opinion, I think, that gets them the quickest because they're kind of simpler costumes. And there's not a single person in the scare zone right now. If that goes to tell you how much rain we're getting here at Halloween Horror Nights. Again, every time we show up, we are getting rain, rain, rain. Please go away. I don't know if this is new or not, but I don't recall seeing this. This is Mr. Icy Cones, and you can actually see a face in there. A little hard to see, and it looks like you've got like meat grinded up or something, or ice coned up. That's peculiar. I don't remember seeing this on opening night or in the past few weeks. The lines for the houses have gotten pretty long tonight again. Being a Friday for HHN, it's going to be a decently long wait, but we're going to actually try and get into the 11 o'clock showing of the Nightmare Fuel. We haven't gotten to do it yet, and last time we thought we were going to get it, we needed to have the, we kind of had to get in early, so we're going to get here about 25 to 30 minutes early, hopefully get a good seat, and we'll see. I'm hoping the show still goes even in the rain, but I am seeing a line, so I think we're good to go. All right, we just picked up the Fresh Ground Princess. It definitely is the most unique item that we've had yet as far as visually. We're gonna try it out. It looks disgusting, but it's gotta taste decent, right? Time to try the Ground Princess, and it's unsettling a little bit. It's a little unsettling to like pick this up because just the whole package is weird. But we're gonna try it. They even do like, it's gonna be too hard to see, but there's like this, like they use like a jam or a jelly in the corners to make it look like it's like bloody and kind of how you would get like ground meat. So let's try it. I think it's gonna be okay. Rice Krispies are a little dry. I'm not getting a ton of this like strawberry flavor, I think it is. Raspberry. Definitely more of a visually funny dessert versus a tasty dessert, unfortunately, but yeah, it's all right. All right, we are now trying Spirits of the Coven. It's a 25-minute wait. It's getting a little late for tonight, so we figure we'll do this one and then probably jump on Rip Ride Rocket since it's right behind us. There you go. And then probably call it a night and continue on with more houses next time. All right, Nicole, what is your number one and last place house currently, but also what you're most anticipating?
My last place house is currently Bugs. I think it sounded super cool and people really hyped it up, and then it just wasn't that great. My favorite house so far has been the Weeknd's house, and I'm not even a Weeknd fan, but I just really enjoyed it. And I'm most excited of the houses that are still remaining for the Blumhouse one.
There you go, Blumhouse. So we finished up on Spirits of the Coven, and that one, close to getting the bottom spot for me. I'm not sure yet. I know for Nicole, that's hands down worse than Bugs for her. But for me, I'm not sure yet. I think Bugs is pretty bad, unfortunately. Maybe just like the compactness of the actual house itself with the insanely loud sounds and just, I didn't think it was great. Coven felt like it was way too long for what it was. Storyline kind of felt a little short. Just not a very good house. So at this point, I feel like the top four for me are kind of consistent, and now like Coven and Bugs are just like low, and I think they'll, as a pair, just keep dropping down my list. I just don't think they're very good houses. The scares were a little bit better in that one than Bugs. Bugs was just annoying, swatting stuff out of your face the whole time. This one almost kind of felt like that. There was a lot of dangly kind of stuff in your face. Scares were okay, but overall just not a great house, and I feel like there was a lot of potential there. Definitely not our favorite, and I would say this is, like I said, probably going to be right there at the 9-10 spot, I'm going to assume, by the end of this list. Over here at the Universal Studios shop over in City Walk, there's 2 new items here, both of them being bucket hats. These are both new. There's those purses that we saw from earlier, but these are definitely new, these bucket hats. How fun is that? $34 is not fun though.
And welcome back again. So going into the 4th night, we were like, we have 4 houses to knock out and we need to do all 4 so we can get this video started because it was starting to take a little while. So this night we were like, we are basically just like gung-ho on getting all 4 houses knocked out. And there was a little bit of a disruption. You'll see that in this next bit.
We are back for another day of Halloween Horror Nights. Got to knock out a few more houses, get a few more times going. No rain right now. There was rain in the radar, but we are good to go for now. Let's hope we beat it. Knock these out. Let's get going. Has anybody noticed that the Pumpkin Lord has like different body shapes? Like sometimes he's a little chunky, sometimes he's a little bit thinner. He looks a little thinner right now, but I feel like every time I'm leaving, he looks a little chunky. We finished up over at the Halloween house and there was a little mishap with my other lens. So for the rest of today's reviews, I'm gonna try and get into some light because that one is no longer in service for right now. But for the time being, we will again find some light. For the Halloween house, I thought the house was actually really good and a lot of people might hate me for this, but I actually haven't seen any of the Halloween movies. Had I seen any of those, I might have been a little bit more appreciative of the scenery. But I do think the house was really well done. Just in general, I think just the aesthetics and then the jump scares I thought were pretty good. That ranks pretty high for me actually, even without seeing the movies. I would probably say maybe 4th or 5th, right around the Chupacabra range. We may be crazy because this is an 80-minute long queue and it has been going up, so that's probably going to be pretty accurate. You can see the line looks massive for Blumhouse here, but it is one of the remaining houses that we do need to review, so we're sticking it out and we will let you know how it is afterward. We ended up finishing Blumhouse and it was every bit of 95 minutes. It was a posted 80, ended up being 95 minutes. That was a long wait. The express line got really long, number 1. Number 2, we saw the entire cast change. People came in and people left, so they did an entire cast change in there. There was a few private tour groups that came through, so it really started to add up in there. The house itself, Freaky was a little underwhelming for myself. I think it was kind of just, maybe because I haven't seen either of the movies, it was a little rough on both ends. But I think Freaky was okay, and I think the Black Phone was actually pretty good. Lots of jump scares in there, and we could see as they were doing the set change, there was a lot of actors. So I think it had 30 plus people between the 2 houses, and so far it's been the longest house out of the 8 that we've done and reviewed so far. So I would say that as far as length goes, definitely a longer house, and that could be because you're kind of doing both Freaky and Black Phone. But a lot of good jump scares in there. Black Phone is probably carrying that house pretty heavily, and that's kind of the consensus I've been hearing online. But it's definitely something I would say, you know, be prepared to wait every bit of the posted wait on this particular haunted house. We're taking a quick break because we've waited probably almost 3 hours for pretty much 2 haunted houses. So we have got the Philly cheesesteak over here, right in like the Simpsons area. So this is the Philly cheesesteak and the fries, and then also the tablet cookie. It's like the mummy tablet cookie. So we'll let you know how they go. And it looks like it's going to be a little messy, so probably just eat it and then give you the review after. I don't want to be too rude, but I do have to start to review this already. The amount of beef in this is horrible. There's like no beef in here. It is pretty much all bun. The beef tastes super burnt. This is not a very good option if you are looking for food here at Halloween Horror Nights. I'm very disappointed in this. It was one of the top things I was looking forward to. I mean, I was pulling some of it off. It was not tasting very good. The fries are at least pretty decent. Haven't tried the cookie yet, but I literally just had to cut in while eating this. Nicole doesn't like it either. This is a no. This is not good. Not a good amount of meat. Again, very burnt tasting. Not not worth the money and decently pricey for this, but you do get the fries, so I understand where they were coming from, but I'd probably skip this. Just a quick final food review here. Again, the Philly cheesesteak, not very good. Fries, okay. And the tablet cookie, weirdly dense, kind of a dry but wet consistency, I would say. It was okay. Altogether, nothing blew me away with what I got tonight. So we'll try a few more booths here in the coming weeks, but as of right now, none of that was really that good. So we are headed over to Descendants of Destruction. We have 2 more houses to do, Descendants and Hellblock Horror. We'll see if we can get both of them done tonight. Otherwise, we have 1 more after tonight, but I'm hoping we can knock them both out because Hellblock tends to have like a 10-minute wait by the end of the night. Hit Descendants, 50-minute wait, so maybe it's a little less.
Sorry, we're cutting in really quick, and that's because we didn't get a review of Descendants of Destruction because we literally went and like Descendants, like ran over to Hellblock, went through Hellblock, and then left. So just to give you my thoughts on Descendants of Destruction, the scenery inside of Descendants was amazing for a tent house. Like, I thought that you were like immersed. I felt like the scare actors blended in really well. They're pretty aggressive in there, which is a lot of fun. But when you look at the actual house itself, I thought it was good, not great. I didn't totally get all of it, I guess. Now with a tent house, another thing to keep in mind is it was very, very loud in there again. Unfortunately, that's just something that I think you have to deal with when you do these tent houses. Overall though, this house was a really strong house for a tent house. I think they did everything that they kind of could for the parameters that they were given.
Finally knocking out our last house for the review, Hellblock Horror, 15 minutes. I knew it'd be pretty low for the end of the night, which is why we're doing it now. We just ended up finishing Hellblock Horror, and as people have been noting, it is a not great house, and we totally agree. That was easily my number 10. I don't have to think much about it. That house wasn't very good. Scare actors inside the house felt lackluster. I felt that the actual theme felt a little goofy, and it was pretty late. This was like a 1:20-ish run through, so maybe they were missing some in there, but the house felt real bad. It fell short, I think, just across the board. And there's a reason I feel like it's got a 10 to 15 minute wait, mostly at the end of the night, and even throughout the day. I don't think it ever gets over like a 40 to 45 minute wait. So unfortunately, that's going to be dead last, guaranteed. But let's go wrap it up.
And we are back to finalize this list and go over all the details real quick. So as you can see, here's my top 10. And I don't think it's much of a surprise. I will say actually one of them that kind of shocked me was Blumhouse. Blumhouse I think was my 7. It jumped up to 5 just because like we actually had some scares in there. I think with like Chupacabra and Descendants, I think we just kind of missed a lot of those scares. And unfortunately, that's what kind of happens if you get a bad run of the house. So those kind of dropped a little bit for me, and I think Blumhouse just at the end of the day kind of knocked it out of the park. With Black Phone specifically, I don't think Freaky was great, but you can see the list here, and this is just an enjoyment factor. This is my enjoyment factor of the houses alone. And now I'll put up the posted wait times versus the actual wait times. And the big thing with this one to keep in mind is this can change from person to person, because at the end of the day, you might get a number of private tour groups coming through. You could get express lane that comes cruising through. You could just have set changes or cast changes. Like there's a lot that could kind of happen inside of this wait time that could ultimately adjust that. So take it for what you will. Again, these are posted versus actual wait times for each of the 10 houses. Now, finally, this is the list of scares. This means that like we were getting hit by jump scares left and right, or like we had some really good jump scares that definitely got you. And this is going to be that list. Completely different from our enjoyment list, and that's just because it could be something that comes along with good scare actors knowing what they're doing in there, or kind of getting it together, kind of vibing out. Could be time of the day. Obviously, you've got to run through these houses multiple times, but right now this is the list that we've seen that has been the best for jump scares specifically. These are the houses I would check out in that order if you want the most scares to the least scares, or the best scares to the worst scares. That is going to wrap up the rest of this video. We did a lot of work out there, multiple days at Halloween Horror Nights, tons of editing, lots of stuff going on. We did finally get it finalized, and here you go. I hope that you got some good information from it. And if you did enjoy the video today, I'd appreciate if you gave it a like. And if you do want to see more content, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. But until next time, we'll see you in the next one.